Alrighty, welcome everybody to the Nexus Gaming Series Division C West quarterfinals. I'll be your host tonight, Arrow, and I'm joined by Munkus from Arrogant Nephilim. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
And you are joining us tonight for a rank 4 versus rank 5 between Ginormous Jaegers and Plugwalk. And this is going to be a really interesting match as these teams in the regular season faced off. And Plugwalk actually won that match 2-0. Both of them, however, very close in the standings overall. And the team that wins this ultimately will go on to face Rush B at the top of the standings.
Very exciting. It's always good to see the 4 and 5 play. That's as close as you get in these tournament drafts. And just very excited to see what both teams can bring tonight.
Absolutely. So it looks like we've got everybody in the lobby now. Let me make sure that I've got my overlay set up. I do. Okay, cool. So just a quick, I've got the brackets up so you can see those here. Let's take a quick look at the standings just to show you again where they were. So number 4 and number 5, 16 points for Ginormous Jaegers, 15 for Plugwalk. So it almost can't be any closer in this scenario. So I expect some really quality games. Now, again, Plugwalk did 2-0 over Ginormous Jaegers, and it was fairly convincing. On the Infernal Shrines game, they had 22 kills to 2. And on their Sky Temple, it was slightly closer with 21-9. So, you know, it's been a while. That was 2 weeks ago. We'll see if there's been some adjustments and if they're all set up and ready to go for this new match. It looks like the teams are ready, so let's go ahead and give them that start here.
Well, the past is the past, and anything can happen tonight. I am looking forward to this exciting.
Absolutely. So C West, a pretty competitive division overall. As you can see, Rush B on the top, but many of the other teams there in the middle within just 1 point. And just a quick overview of the maps here. Ginormous Jaegers banned out Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Plugwalk banned Sky Temple. Again, one of those maps that we talked about earlier. And here we've got Volskaya Foundry, the pick by Ginormous Jaegers. And I said that backwards. Ginormous banned Sky Temple, and Plug banned Tomb. But let's go to this draft.
First ban is on Johanna, just probably the most all-around good tank. She's a really good wall. She's tough for Gary to deal with, and she can handle a noob in the right situations. Has a lot of weight.
Johanna, yeah, so she's a really solid tank. She is comfortable for a lot of the Div C teams, gives the availability to make sure that her team is protected. And of course, the Gul'dan being followed up. Gul'dan throwing out those corruptions and horrifies on these points can really cause significant problems for the enemy team.
I'm a little surprised that Gul'dan is banned instead of, say, Kael'thas, because I feel like Kael'thas is the strongest mage on this map for the reasons that you mentioned. Well, there you
What? Kale made it through? But nope. He sure didn't make it through the bans. You know, but on that same token, I'm almost a little bit surprised that they banned out the Gul'dan other than even like an Orphea or a Jaina, both of which have significant play and combo really well with some other, some other tanks like the ETC that I was just gonna say.
Well, I was surprised that that neither Anna nor Anub got banned, but I do remember looking a little bit at Pharos, and I saw that he did play a lot of ETC this season, so ETC might just be a comfort pick for him, and they might know that and therefore let Anub open.
Absolutely. ETC, whether you've got Mosh or the stage dive, can bring some value on this map. And we're seeing that Anubarak and Brightwing already just looking to counter that potential Mosh straight out of the gate with 2 potential stuns from Anubarak, a cocoon from Anubarak, and anywhere from 1 to 2 out of Brightwing, Thapali, and potentially Emerald Wind.
Yeah, Anub has 3 ways to stop it. Brightwing has one, potentially two ways to stop. And there's that Jaina.
No big surprise there. The stuns from Blaze, the stuns from ETC, really setting up the potential damage coming out from that Blizzard combo with Jaina, and giving you some incredibly powerful CC chains with the Mosh potential, the Ring potential, even landing the Combustion out of Blaze, which has been a significant pick these days, gives Ring that greater chance of hitting.
I feel like Blaze has fallen out of favor primarily because whatever Blaze does, Imperius just does it a little bit better. He's does more damage, a little bit more survivable. I just think that that if you're going to get Blaze and Imperius is open, go for that.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze's ultimates do provide... They're a little bit slightly different kit, right? His charge stun is a little bit more forgiving. If you hit somebody, you're going to hit everybody, and the combustion being such a massive range. But we do see the Stukov Zeratul. Again, Stukov, really solid value on this map because he just covers half of the control points with his silence, and Zeratul's just Zeratul. He does meme things all the time.
Right. You don't deal with Zeratul, you ban Zeratul.
Exactly. So what do you think about this Raynor Li Ming?
I'm not so sure about Li Ming because she lacks the clear that other mages do, and so then you have problems with your rotation for the top mid. But Jimmy always is a good pick. He slots into every team. He has a lot of range, and he just pumps out that damage.
And we see that Kerrigan and Alex Straza, so no significant dive other than the bug for the Alex Straza, so that gives her some flexibility. And of course, they didn't take the Kael'thas, which would have been a nice counter for her healing circles.
Now, I'm a little worried about 3 front line going into this team, and also you have Jaina having to deal with the Nubarak Beetles that'll just absorb all those skill shots. Especially going into Arthas. 3 melee into Arthas is some really rough chuckles.
Yeah, no doubt. This is going to be some interesting team fights. And they're changing. I hate when they do that. Oh no, Li Ming there, Nemesis as Raynor.
I like Alex Straza on this map, especially, but I'm just shocked that Anna wasn't picked up. Not by either team, but Anna Jaina. That's a brutal nano.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Heck, even Nano Kerrigan with her storm and everything. That's just a lot of shields and a lot of damage.
There's a lot of potential here for both of these teams, and you're right. Ana being a hero that is right at the top of the meta, like I think in all divisions. Just amazing support now that they've made those changes to her. But yeah, so we'll see how this turns out. Maybe that Alex Straza is just a supreme comfort pick for them. So
could be. Always go comfort over meta, in my opinion.
All right. Well, let's get started here with the introductions. We'll start with the blue team. You've got Ginormous Jaegers. Ogle the Great is going to be playing the Li Ming. Nemesis on the Raynor. Dark Knight on a Nubarak. Gambit is going to be playing the Arthas, and Odd Thought is on the Brightwing.
And for the red team, we have Pharos on the ETC, 2Js on Jaina, Kagura on the Alex Straza, Criticolo on Blaze, and Diesel on Kerrigan.
And right out of the gate, we see the Kerrigan skin, but she didn't use the mount, so we don't have to worry about anybody calling for an auto, not forfeit or anything like that, just to remake the game out of the beginning here. But so right out of the gate, we see that Arthas and Blaze heading bot lane to get some solo value here, as Jaina has the incredible wave clear in the mid lane.
It just instantly deleted that wave. That's going to put red team. They're going to be able to have a lot more map control as a result.
Yeah, and it is going to be for Ginormous Jaegers. They've they've got to win these points. You know, you've got the Arthas slows to help with that ace in the hole from Raynor, and poking for days out of the Ether Walker Li Ming. You know, and I've been seeing a lot of that. Do you guys take Ether Walker? Do you play Li Ming at all? What do you think?
I have a friend who does play Ether Walker. He tried it for a game or two, and he was not impressed.
It's an interesting talent. I've tried it out a couple times. I like it on Battlefield of Eternity if you're trying to race. In the bot lane here, though, we've got Blaze and Arthas. Blaze trying to walk away as the slow from Arthas just keeps him locked down, nearly killing him.
Yeah, usually in the off lane you see both members just dancing around each other, not wanting to throw in. But these guys were just, here they go into their little dance back and forth. They had a little clash. They wanted to liven things up, but now they're doing the off lane dance.
And both teams go ahead and pick up their fortification camp, so those will be up, depending on how long the control point takes, those will both be back up in the middle of that fight. And now Pluglock's going to go ahead and pick up their siege camp a little bit before this control point is active.
Yes, I like what the blue team has done here. They've captured the point. You know, all the things are dead, but they didn't summon the mercs yet. They're going to wait until the point is active to get that value, to get that push. Because the camp right now it's just going to get cleared. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, and I think based on what they were just doing there, that maybe they picked that camp up because they were going to try to get the support camp. Which, you know, you did see them kind of go over there and posture for it, but then Ginormous Jaegers said, yeah, we see what you're trying to do, and just made sure that they couldn't. So looks like they'll start the control point in their favor.
Now, I would go ahead and cap it right now before it actually fully activates, so that it's already moving into lane by the time you start fighting.
Yeah, and they do have Brightwing, so Brightwing can go ahead and pick that up and wait until the team is ready to go and teleport in if she needs to. But there's plenty of time. You know, this objective takes, 90 seconds or so to fully cap, so they've got plenty of time to walk back in on this.
Oh, the first objective, it goes much, much faster than that. And the more this gets delayed, the better it will be for red team, because they have a little XP lead, unless blue team gets this healing unit.
And it almost looked like Anubrak was going to walk away as Pluglock was coming in to get that. But he did manage to pick that up. And now we've got level 7s coming up for both teams. Dark Knight's going to charge in the heal going out. The pull in from Kerrigan as the charge stun goes out. Oh my goodness. And there's the dragon popping them all back. But 2 members of Ginormous Jaegers will go down. Make that 3 as Arthas gets deleted.
Yeah. You can't fight against Dragon on the point. You see Dragon get popped this early, you just need to back off.
Yeah, did they even drop the bio emitter?
They did, and it got the lead-ins.
Yeah, so they did get the turret dropped as well, and thanks to that big heavy push from them out of that Dragon, especially, they do get the first protector of the game over to Pluglock. And we do see Jaina up in the top lane, prepping that lane to get those minions up there so that when they get this protector up here, it'll be right into the wall. They don't have to worry about it taking free damage from the towers.
Right, and they can by getting this well, they get a major advantage going into the next protector fight.
Absolutely. Taking down that well makes it much more difficult if you're trying to defend and retreat. And they will not quite get it down. It just has a couple hundred health, maybe.
157 HP. That's
there
it.
You go.
They just needed like one little frostbolt or something, and then it would go down. That's a huge defense.
Yeah, they should be able to get that at some point. Jaina can go up there
with
the Blizzard.
As
the power slide in on 3 of them. Ogle in trouble at half health there. The Blizzard going out as Anubrak burrow charges in, gets Diesel and Pharaohs. And Arthas just slowing everybody down, but it looks like he's going to get caught, and he does.
Goodness gracious.
And that will give level 9 over to Pluglock. And what do you do with this? You've got 5v4, you've got 20 seconds or so, and you're clearing lanes.
I think that if you're red team, you make the aggressive play here. If you're blue team, you just soak because you don't want the other team to be 10 when you're not on the second.
Absolutely, and they do go ahead and pick up that aggressive turret camp. So that's a pretty significant value for them, as they will now go get theirs as well. That gives them the potential for 2 turret camps and even maybe a support camp when they get their level 10s, if they choose to come up here and fight it in about 20 seconds or so.
Blue team was missing a lot of soak there. They had the ability to have people just passively soak, but they were either too far away or running in lanes. That's going to give the red team the 10 advantage, and they can use that to get the healing.
Well, you announced red team, so why don't you go call out their talents, their heroics.
Their heroics. All right. We have Mosh Pit on ETC, Maelstrom on Kerrigan, Combustion for Blaze, a Cleansing Flame for Alexstrasza, and a Ring of Frost from
And that's about what I would expect. You got some pretty good AoE potential, the CC potential, and Kerrigan being able to pop that AoE as well into that Mosh is just going to be absolutely devastating for Ginormous Jaegers. However, they do get their level 10s as well. So we see the Wave of Force to try to counter that Mosh. Hyperion is just fantastic to zone on these points. It's just free damage. The Army of the Dead for Arthas, and it is going to be Emerald Wind for Brightwing, and the Cocoon coming out for Anubarak. So a lot of potential counters now for that Mosh Pit. Cocoon going out onto Kerrigan, but as the ring drops below, I believe it was an interrupted Mosh, but it is just the short cooldown, so it'll be back up in just a moment.
Yeah, you want to let him get it off and then interrupt it, because that's an 8-second cooldown compared to a 2-minute.
And I don't think that they interrupted it on purpose. I think that they just have so many potential interrupts that was a maybe a Nubarak Impale. And we see Plugwalk coming in here, sharking around in the back line. Kerrigan's... Go ahead.
Whoa, that's a huge, but he's interrupted! Oh my goodness, I was just going to say that a lot of ults were used in middle lane for basically nothing, and now they're all on cooldown for this fight, and that was a 4-man wipe. That was a beautiful Mosh.
Absolutely, and we did see the Mosh followed by the Combustion and Kerrigan's... I don't remember the name of that ability, the swarm thing.
Maelstrom.
Yeah, that thing. And Kerrigan trying to get Ogle in the backline here. She's going to get Brightwing healing and a shield as well, and almost take down Diesel there with that big fat orb. And
interesting that they don't have. They're pushing without their healer.
Indeed, they want that protector to get as much percentage on it as they can. They do have the level 13s. And we do see that Icy Veins and, of course, the Life Unbound, the bonus healing, and then some AoE damage as well. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and back out. They want their ultimates to be up for this. Right now they only have the Cleansing Flame and the Ring of Frost. But that Combustion in 10 seconds could be a big problem for Ginormous Jaegers.
Just, they have the 13 advantage right now. I'd go in right now. Oh, no! Big battlecruiser.
There goes the Combustion and the Ring of Frost. Cleansing Flame coming out, trying to keep everybody alive, but Jaina goes down to the Li Ming, followed by the Blaze with Raynor. And it looks like Kerrigan is just going to go ahead and walk back in because she doesn't want to stagger those deaths any more than they already have. As that was a heavy stun out of Anubarak to set that up.
That was a beautiful Cocoon. Yes, he locked down Kerrigan, so it was effectively a 5v4 because they couldn't get her out in time. And with the fight under the battlecruiser, that was all about blue. I'm sorry I don't have the team names correct yet.
No worries. Just if you're ever wondering, just look at your stream. That way you can see the name right there next to you. So here they come. Plugwalk coming back in. ETC does power slide in, but he gets polyed and has to pull away as the second protector now going over to Ginormous Jaegers.
Now, I think that the second protector is the most important one because it leads to the actual most important one, the third protector. If you can get this bottom lane set up with the fort down and the well dead, then that often means a GG if you get that third protector with those two factors.
There's the power slide in on Raynor, the root from the protector missing. ETC trying to get in on this, and the protector will punch in on ETC, who gets chunked down to about half. Blaze now getting punched in the face by the massive protector. So Pluglock will go ahead and back out.
I think that that for Plugwalk, they actually got a little bit of advantage there because they want to distract the protector from what it really needs to be doing, getting that well and fort down.
Absolutely. So it looks like protector about half health now, about 15 seconds left, and they're just trying to get whatever value they can. They got this wall down, so you know, they don't have a lot of time left on this, and they don't want to put themselves in a bad position. Because, again, Plugwalk does have a lot of combo potential here if they're not careful, and it's all up.
Right, and they also don't want to give Jaina easy completion of her Frostbite.
Absolutely, and take a quick look at that. Jaina's at 10,000 damage on that right now. We do see the regen talent for Anub'arak at 25 out of 30, and, of course, Arthas has finished his Frostmourne quest, Eternal Hunger level 1.
Interesting that he went Regeneration Master and not either Beetle build or Spell Shield, because Beetles block all the Frost Bolts, and Spell Shield, that like almost all of the damage from Plugwalk is ability damage.
I'm actually a little bit surprised by that as well. I would have expected the W build here to build on those shields and that spell armor. I agree.
Oh no! Fight over this over the Healy factor.
Maybe
they're just gonna get it for free.
It looks like it. They're just not aware. Now that being said, we did just see 16 come on for Plugwalk as well, so they may Ginormous Jaegers may have just decided that, you know, they didn't want to try to take that, and it looks like it is the root coming out for Jaina. Big value there, and of course the armor for Power Slide.
Yes, and missing a little bit of XP bottom. I'd like to see Ginormous Jaegers get that soak and get to 16 so that they can fight on a fair and even battle. And look at the siege camp for Plugwalk. It's this time they captured it and are letting it sit in stew before the point gets off.
It's almost like they were listening to you earlier this game. Well, we do have now 16 is available for Ginormous Jaegers as well. And if you're following the cast, I did try turning down Monkus just a touch to see if that helps with the echo. And so, sorry if it's on. I'm sure it's on my side. I don't know. Have to try to figure it out later because
it's probably the fan. I turned it off. It's a little hot in here, so I have my fan on.
Fair enough. No worries. So these camps in the top lane, of course, now both of the towers taken down for the forts down for each of the teams. So both of these will have a little bit of catapult pressure, but it looks like the wave was just slightly better for Ginormous Jaegers. So Plugwalk's got to come up here, clear this out, get the minor amount of value that they can.
Bit of a misplay. They give up bottom fort for that, though.
And you saw that a few moments ago as they did something similar. They were in the top lane, and Ginormous Jaegers had come in here to get this wall down. So that was a great play on their part.
Yes, it might be if this wave doesn't finish it off, it might be a slight misplay, but no, just the last shot from that minion, the very last shot, took out.
This is a little bit surprising, seeing Plugwalk coming in aggressively on this point. They're both 16, and they have all of their ults available. So there's the Burrow Charge in, gets the stuns on it. Brightwing will come in as the Mosh Pit goes out, and Blaze pops his Pyromaniac. Kerrigan in the back lane gets her Cocoon. Go ahead.
And the turret was sitting there for ages without being picked up. That's a dead Brightwing!
And Li Ming getting the resets off of Blaze, ETC, Kerrigan, Ice Block coming out for Jaina, but it looks like it's going to be a 4-man versus 2 kill in favor of Ginormous. Not only did they get that turret for free, they also stole one from Plugwalk.
You know what? You don't need a healer if you're Li Ming and you have dominance. Getting that calamity reset after reset, heal after heal.
And Li Ming did take that diamond skin at 16 as well, so she can be pretty aggressive into this team, into this Kerrigan Blaze ETC, and not have to worry that much getting that 20% shield as well. So that certainly helps when you get the free resets.
She is all in on this teleport build with Aetherwalker, Calamity, Dominance, Illusionist, and Diamonds. Orbs? Nah, that's old news. Missiles? Nah, that's not for me. Ogle the Great is saying, I want to Aetherwalk, I want to teleport.
All right, well, maybe we'll see some new strategies coming out of Div B, but at least right now, the web going out onto ETC in the backline, just trying to see if they can get an advantage on this as this overtime comes out. Power Slide gets interrupted by the Impale as Karim goes into her cocoon. Pyromanian Combustion popped, trying to get those slows and damages out.
Fighting through the battle cruiser.
All of the free damage.
That's a dead Kerrigan. That might be a dead Blaze.
Cleansing Flame keeping him alive just barely, so only the 1 kill for all of those ults. 4 on the side of Plugwalk and 3 ultimately with the Wave of Force from Ginormous Jaegers, but now they still have Cocoon. Actually, I guess 4 because they used Cocoon at the beginning, so Cocoon and Army still available for Ginormous Jaegers.
And I think they're doing the right call here by having their tanks in the Protector. They do the least amount of siege damage, so they're getting the maximum value here. All the while, Top Camp is going to be pushing in, so they might lose. They might lose 2 keeps here for the price.
Li Ming with the Protector damage managing to just obliterate Jaina. And those orbs are doing so much damage, getting all 3 of those to about half health as the first keep goes down.
Forget what I said about getting 2 keeps. With a dead Jaina, this might be game. They get 1 more kill.
They only have the Kerrigan up for the damage right now, and even she was almost punched down there by the Protector. They do pop Dragon Queen, so that's a bit of a win for Ginormous Jaegers, and the knockback to keep the combustion out.
And the re-engage! They were chasing too far and too deep!
Oh no, and Kerrigan again goes down to the Li Ming. The damage onto Blaze from that Wave of Force, almost getting caught by the laser, but the laser finished off Alex Straza!
Oh, yeah. You hate to see it happen, but they chased that Protector and they fell right into the.
Wow, they took it a little too far. They got the level 20s for Ginormous Jaegers, and that was just the end of the game for them. So a little bit different than that season game, the regular season game, where the Plugwalk came out and was very strong in the regular season, and tonight, Ginormous Jaegers making that exclamation point in game 1.
Oh man, and I think MVP definitely has to go to Li Ming. Top siege, top damage, 8 kills, 0 death.
Definitely a well-played game. That was high value out of the Anubrak stuns and the Arthas slows. Raynor getting some really good value out of that Hyperion, just dropping the free damage onto the enemy team, and of course Ogle always there to finish the job.
Right, fighting under the battle cruisers is a difficult prospect, but I really think that Plugwalk could have come back if they had just let that Protector walk away.
Absolutely, they could have done something. They were pretty far behind in that game at that point, but the thing about Volskaya is that the later in the game you get, the easier it is to come back in a way, because you get 1 solid Protector at 20 minutes, and you can just finish off a fort and a keep and the game if it's solid.
Yes, just I said at the start of the game, it's rough with 3 melee, especially on Volskaya with all the moving conveyor belts. It's especially rough into Arthas, who's slowing everybody down, and it's just so tough to do.
And it looks like we're gonna go to Infernal Shrines.
One of my favorite maps.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put us back on that rotating screen, give you guys some music to listen to, and as we get set up for the next game. So we'll be back in just a moment. Alrighty, welcome back everybody. Arrow and Munkus here, casting this wonderful game between Ginormous Jaegers and Plugwalk. We'll be getting started in just a second here. If you're just joining us, that last match was on, map was on Volskaya Foundry, which was picked and taken by Ginormous Jaegers. Our next selection here is going to be Infernal Shrines, and that was picked by Plugwalk.
So Plugwalk elected to get the map pick opposed to first pick.
Correct. So it seems like both teams looking for that comfortability on the maps where they're used to playing, where they play well, and maybe have the timings all maybe a little bit better for what they're looking for.
I wonder if we'll see Li Ming get banned.
You know, this is not one of her better maps. So we'll see.
It isn't, but she was so high impact.
She definitely was. So we'll see kind of how they go with that. Ogle has, if I remember correctly, Ogle has a pretty deep hero pool. So, even if they ban out the Li Ming, I feel like he's got enough opportunities to step it up into one of those other mages that we talked about, or maybe a Hanzo even.
I do feel like this is the Kael'thas map. This is where Kael'thas is the strongest because he there we go. Stream sniped.
Yeah, I don't think it's been enough time for them to snipe that one, but certainly possible, as we see very similar bans coming out from last game.
Right. Johanna, again, excellent wave clear, especially here when wave clear is the name of the game. And maybe Johanna is just a comfort pick for the Jaegers.
Entirely possible. We came up with strategy of play Johanna as much as you possibly can, so that the enemy teams will just always ban her, and then you play the other tanks and laugh your way to the bank. But Gul'dan being banned out again. Now this map, Gul'dan is fantastic on, and that does not surprise me at all.
No change to the bans at all. The exact same ones as game one.
Indeed. So, with their backs against the wall now, Plugwalk has to come up with something, because at the end of this game, it could be just as bad as Thanos snapping away Plugwalk into oblivion. Only half of the people on this map will make it out of tonight.
Well, I don't know about getting the Brightwing first pick. Yes, she's high impact with blinking in her warp, but Nubarak's still open, Stukov, Alex Straza. There are a lot of, I feel like, better options to go with.
Yeah, it is. Odd thought, picking an odd pick maybe at the very beginning there. And there you go with the Nubarak. You do see that Orphea Stukov on the other side, so the Stukov again provides a pretty significant amount of value for this map. And Orphea with her Crushing Jaws, or depending on who they take, maybe that ETC comes out again. Probably not against what they're looking at. I think they maybe, learned their lesson in the last game, but Orphea could be looking at an Internal Feast if they get some solid lockdown.
There's the Jimmy ban. He is, very easy, very consistent ranged carry, and on this map, you drop that battle cruiser, and whoops, looks like you captured the point.
Yeah, and there are a few heroes that really help to solidify that those skeletal defenders. You're looking at the Alex Strazas. You're looking at even potentially the Ragnaros.
I always love to see the Ragnaros come out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like they are going to go ahead and ban out that ETC. They had a lot of potential counters for that Mosh, but if it only takes one good solid Mosh, and your Orphea Stukov ETC combo just shreds the enemy team. So they just said, you know what, play a different tank. We don't want to play with that today.
You know who's open though? Leo and Diablo. Or Gary and Sonya.
You were so
Here's
close.
The thing.
Sonya's in that universe.
Gary and Sonya can do exactly the job that I was talking about, though. You want to create a situation for Eternal Feast or Crushing Jaws to wham, slam, and thank you, ma'am. With the taunt from Gary and the leap from Sonya, or even the Wrath and just the taunt, you could do a really good setup for Orphea and Stukov.
And there's the Zeratul that was banned out in game one coming out of Ogle. And if he plays Zeratul halfway as well as he did the Li Ming, this is a scary, scary comp for them.
Oh, if he plays Ogle, or if Ogle plays Zeratul like he played Li Ming, then I would start praying right now if I'm plugged. Finally. And there is the counter Protoss. It is a Protoss throwdown with Alarak and Zeratul.
I don't know. I don't know who to call on this one. This I like the overall setup, but you've got 4 melee. The Imperius with his percent damage, although I've been hearing that some people are taking the W talent at level 1. I think you take the percent damage into Garrosh no matter what, but we'll see how that goes.
No. If you're Imperious, you take that. You take the percent damage. It's so much.
And I've played Imperius a couple times, but I haven't played him recently. I don't generally play that solo lane, so we'll see as we're now heading into game number 2 on Infernal Shrines between Ginormous Jaegers and Plugwalk. 1-0 in favor of Ginormous Jaegers.
I feel like this is Jaeger's game to lose. They have such an advantage in the late game, and as long as they can get to the late game, I feel like, and I like their clear a lot better than Plugwalk.
For sure. So let's go ahead and do introductions for the blue team. Ginormous Jaegers, we've got Ogle the Great on Zeratul, Dark Knight on Anubarak, Gambit's going to be on Imperius, Nemesis on Jaina, and Odd Thought once again on the Brightwing.
And for Plugwalk, we have Pharos on Garrosh, Criticolo on Sonya, Orphea, or 2Js on Orphea, Gura on Stukov, and Diesel on Alar.
This is going to be a fun game. We'll see how this goes. I think you're right that that Jaegers has a little bit better on the clear, but then again, Plugwalk's got that Sonya. Sonya can take the point by herself if they can stall and delay and keep the rest of that team away. So we'll see how this goes for them.
Okay, a couple of interesting talent choices. I just want to go over these real quick. You have, you have Regeneration Master, which the Beatles just screw up Gary's throw. Like, I would 100% go Beetle build into Garrosh. It also blocks the Sonya Spear. Alarak took Ruthless Momentum, the Telekinesis at 1. I've seen a couple people do that, but you usually see the Lightning Quest at level 1. Stukov took the Spine Launcher, which is not something I see that often. And Gary elected for further Wrecking Ball range with Unrivaled Strength instead of the standard Q Quest.
Yeah, and it looks like Jaegers is losing... Oh, no, Brightwing's there. I just couldn't see her. I have a widescreen monitor, so when I zoom out so that we can see all the action here, sometimes I don't get to see the tiny heroes like Brightwing. But, I think that Spine Launcher from Stukov is to couple with Orphea's level 1 talent, which increases the damage to slowed, stunned, or, rooted heroes, I think? Yeah, or, well, basically anything. Stunned, rooted, silenced, or slowed.
I mean, you're probably right on that. There are just some really good level 1 for Stukov, and I love having that big, meaty punch arm.
Fair enough, yep. And we do see Criticalo and Gambit in the top lane here dancing around a little bit as Ogle's going to charge in, and Brightwing's coming in trying to poly to slow her down. Manages to get Criticalo very low to about a third of health, but unfortunately just not enough damage to finish the job. But definitely some significant pressure early game, as now, thanks to that top lane, Plugwalk's going to push bot.
Wow, and push bot they shall. That's a dead tower. That's a major advantage this early in the game.
Well, it looks like the rotation down from Jaegers now will stop the bleeding on that wall. But even the wall's down almost to completely dead. So the next time they're down here, that'll be gone. And that first Punisher now... well, I guess the first Punisher that goes in the bot lane will have a bit of an easier time.
And the Punishers rotate. They have to meet all 3 points before they do a repeat. So this is kind of a big deal having it come top first, because this means later Punishers of the top lane will get pushed in. Whoever wins this will have a really big advantage for their Summoner pack going forward.
Yeah, so we just see the Shaman camp taken by Plugwalk. That's a quick XP advantage. The toss from Garrosh.
Toss from Garrosh.
Silence.
And he countered that by doing a stun onto the Gary who had thrown him. You don't want to throw Imperius into your backline.
Well, they did manage to make it out, and Garrosh almost died, though. Was extremely low, got picked up by Stukov there. And so now both teams pretty much full on health, although Orphea is a little bit low on mana, and she can be a little bit mana hungry. So we'll see if she's able to really do anything, as now Ginormous Jaegers is almost halfway done as Plugwalk trying to come in.
Right. What Gary needs to do is he needs to pick his throw target carefully, which really the only one he wants to throw is Jaina or Bright. You don't want Zeratul in your backline either.
Certainly
there
not
you go.
Later. As Jaina does go in the backline, the silence out of Alarak manages to get both Anubrak and Jaina and finish Jaina off, as Ogle will now get a Q in and blink his way out. So now they'll get started on their skeletal defenders, just a little bit behind.
Just a little bit behind, and having that summoner back out actually has helped them even it up pretty quick.
Yeah, especially since they lost that Sonya, that gave him some XP. Oh, Imperius going into the back line, the silence going out, as they do get stunned by Anubarak. Brightwing coming in on Imperius to keep him healthy, but it's still a 4v5. Jaina's not here yet. And here she comes.
Oh, silence! Dead! Amazing! Amazing pick off there.
Ogle's in the back line just trying to get damage on these defenders, as they do manage to pick up that Punisher, and now Plugwalk got to make their way out as Sonya gets body blocked and gets taken out, and the jump doesn't quite make it over the wall.
I was too busy focused on the fight. I didn't see how close that was as far as the Punisher goes.
Oh, and a Nubrak thrown, obviously the least valuable target to throw over the wall, but at least that's Burrow Charge down for a few seconds.
Yes, and I think that this is going to be a problem for Plugwalk going forward. They just don't have nearly the same wave clear that Jaegers do. Between the Qs from Zeratul, all the AoE from Jaina, and the cleaving hit from Imperial. It's just huge.
Yeah, for sure. So Jaina's sitting about 4,000 damage on her level 1, I guess it's not her level 1 quest, her initial just baseline talent quest. Orphea picked up that E quest at 7, so she's going to be looking to hit heroes with that. As Garrosh is going to throw the Anubarak once again, and silence going out on Anubarak. He didn't take the level 1 quest, so he's not getting any value out of stopping Anubarak, just causing some chaos.
Right, and it does not do that much damage without that level 1 quest completed. Alarak is at, he's finished the second part of his, or maybe just the first part of his Chaos Reigns level 4 quest. He took Telekinesis slow at 7, so it does look like what he wants to do is help set up that Orphea, who took the Mind Devourer, improving her E ability, which is probably the safer of the two quests at that tier.
Yeah, for sure. That Chomp talent can get really strong, but it also means that you have to be right up in the front, finishing those kills off, just like Asmo's talent, or his baseline quest, trying to get those 1.5 second resets. Not resets, you know what I mean. Quest completion, quest ticks, whatever. The ding.
Right. The ding. Yes, ever since they nerfed Orphea so she can't do a double chomp with her level 16, it's really hard to get that chomp to finish off people into waves, and it also means you have to walk right up next to people a lot of the time to get that chomp. It's just a lot safer just to use your E and throw them out over and over from a safe distance.
So we do see level 10s coming out here for Ginormous Jaegers. We've got that Wombo combo coming out with the Void Prison and the Ring of Frost. Angelic Armaments for Imperius, given that shield and those swords. And we've seen some massive damage coming out of that here lately. Emerald Wind and Cocoon going to round out the heroics for Jaegers.
Yeah, that's a lot of stasis and lockdown for the Jaegers. Between Void Prism and Cocoon, they have their pick of the litter for locking down the other team, Plugwalk. I don't know about this invasion by... Oh no, it's not an invasion! This is oh my goodness!
And the ring...
Beautiful!
The Anubarak dive in helps to keep the stun, but the Crushing Jaws going out to stun the opponents there. Pharaoh's getting pulled down.
They're body blocking himself!
Oh my goodness, there goes the Angelic Armaments, catches 2 stuns with his charge, and Alarak goes down in the backline, and Stukov slows down the Imperius to keep him from chasing them.
Oh, that was a beautiful coordinated assault. The Void Prism let out exactly when the ring would hit them. That was beautiful coordination. That's why you take ring. That's why you pick. Oh, very exciting.
That was a questionable invade by Plugwalk. That was a ballsy invade. They had their talents, their heroics, hoping that their heroics would carry them through. And but there was nobody there, and that gave Jaegers the opportunity to just walk in and play the game on their terms. And they got the camp too.
Right, you don't want to fight in that point chokehold against a Jaina and a Zeratul. You're just asking for that to happen. And this is an arcane Punisher here.
And yeah, this is the one you want to get. And of course now rings up, armaments are up, wind is up, cocoon's up. They have everything but prison, and that's coming very soon, in 10 seconds. Certainly before the defenders are done for both teams.
Wow, and getting the wall down and that one tower actually has ended up hurting Plugwall because it allowed their minions to build up a major wave. The Zeratul was able to just come in, chunk with his Q, and get a ton of experience.
And look at this, the combo coming out. They do get the Arcane Punisher, but they are all super chunked from that Void Prison, and the extra damage just coming out from all of Ginormous Jaegers. That was incredibly close. That taunt, that massive taunt coming out from Garrosh, likely saving Criticalo in the backline there.
And Plugwalk has a top camp pushing and the Arcane Punisher. I don't know how they managed. It must have been because Zeratul went bottom to clear. So I was wrong. Getting that tower down got them the punch.
It may very well have. They were waiting on the timer for the Void Prison. It didn't come up quite early enough for them to make the play that they wanted to when all of Plugwalk was hanging out really close together. And then you looked at, they had their talents, they had their heroics ready to go. They have silence, so anything that Jaegers could do at that point just couldn't finish the job.
Well, that is the one problem with Wombo builds is what do you do when you can't Wombo? They used it for the top camp and they were able to get kills, but when using it to defend the camp, that means you don't have it up for the objective.
And we do see here the heat of battle, words are hard, coming out for Imperius, giving him that additional healing on his E-trait talent, rather, when he's below half.
Right, and he'll be super tanky right now, and Zeratul really comes online at 16. If I'm Plugwalk, I'm trying to think of ways to end this game before Zeratul becomes the nightmare of nightmares.
And right now, it doesn't look like that's really feasible for them. They do have that camp in the mid lane. It's going to get them some value. But Jaeger's saying, we want to get equal pressure in this bot lane. They've got both towers on one side. Now here comes the second tower for Jaegers. So now things at least are evened up.
And this is going to be the lane of the next Immortal. And mid lane is getting pushed out pretty hard by that. Oh, I'll leap in!
Oh no!
Oh no!
There goes the root onto 3 members of Plugwalk. The massive shove back, or the arm back anyways. They managed to take out the Brightwing, but here comes the Blizzard onto their backline. Garrosh ends up going down to it. The silence hitting all 3 of the remaining members of Ginormous Jaegers, and it's a 4-on-3. Is now Anubarak in trouble. But it looks like he'll be able to make it out.
The Orphea chase. The Orphea chase is real. You don't usually see a little mage chasing after a big tank, but there you go. Here's the gutsy play right now. I don't think you should do it, and yeah, they're leaving it be.
Yeah, you don't tend to see the, VW Beetle-sized Bug being chased by the high school, junior with a locker on her back.
Right. And oh wow, okay, this is absolutely the right play. A lot of teams would say, "Hey, the other team is dead. Let's get a camp." No, getting that fort down, that's a lot more value.
Yeah, but now they're going to go get that camp, and Jaegers is saying, "That's fine. You're in that top lane. We're going to take your bottom fort, and this is the Punisher lane." So if they manage to get this down and they get the Punisher, they walk right into that keep.
You are correct, but on the flip side, the bigger problem is that they're about to hit 16, and I was thinking that Plugwalk was just going to give up the objective because they were down 16, and they need to take care of this Zeratul.
And there's the Void Prison on 2. The ring coming out is going to hit 3 as the Crushing Jaws goes out. Manages to get Brightwing. The taunt going out into the middle of him. Sony goes down, followed by a Nubarak, and Diesel in the back on Islerek is very low.
Oh, goodness.
Flailing Swipe
Diesel surviving that is gigantic. It was his counterattack that kept them from being just instantly deleted. And, this top camp is going to have to be dealt with by somebody. They can't just push in this bottom lane. They're going to lose this keep otherwise.
And they do see Ogle managing to get in there and finish the job on Orpheus. So now they've got a little bit of a staggered death and really very limited damage on this Punisher, just coming out of that Alarak and that arm from Kagura.
Right, but they also don't have Nubarak and they don't have Zeratul. Nubarak kind of sitting in the base right now for some reason.
Here's Alarak getting chunked down by that Imperius, was thrown away by Garrosh to save him, but
oh goodness, so close.
Just barely managed to survive with those 3. That could have been a kill if they were just a little bit more coordinated on their damage. Zeratul did manage to get that camp cleared up, so they didn't get too much value out of this Frozen Punisher in the bot lane. They finished up the 200 health fort and got the towers down to about half. You are correct, but the thing that camp that they captured, that got them so much comparative value. It meant that they didn't give up a... Absolutely. It meant that the Jaegers had to go back. They had to send somebody back in the top lane to deal with the fact that that Shaman camp would take their keep. They did get the wall, so they actually got more value out of that Shaman camp than Jaegers got out of the Punisher. Right, and you remember all the way back, it looked like they were trading the top fort for the bottom fort, but Jaegers didn't even get the bottom fort down before the Punisher came out. And the next Punisher now, an Arcane Punisher in the top lane, will go right into that keep. There's no wall. They now have a Shaman camp heading down, so Jaegers has to go back and clear that. And we'll see what Plugwalk chooses to do now. They're going to have to clear this camp in mid just to save whatever structures they can. But after that, where do you go? Do you just keep soaking? Try to get that level 20 before this next shrine comes up? What do you think? If I'm Plugwalk, I'm thinking 2 things. One, that Jaegers have a significant experience advantage. That means that you need to do one of 2 things right now. 1, you need to be soaking both lanes, or 2, you want to find and fight the enemy team before it becomes a 20-19 level disadvantage for you. And right now they're sitting back 1 full level, and they were trying to get a bush gank kind of questionably in this top lane. I think maybe they were thinking that the way that Jaegers have been playing, that they might try to push in this top fort just to kind of keep even and set things up for the next Punisher. But Jaeger says, yeah, we don't want to do that. We just want to soak these lanes. We want to soak them safely, close to our base, since we don't know where you are. Ogle the Great is Ogle the Bored, because he is doing B-steps all in his base, trying to get some of his stats a little padded there. And, okay, they're getting the top summoner camp, while Plugwalk are getting the siege giants. The siege, or the siege goats, the siege are a little bit more important because they'll be pushing in the lane that the objective isn't on. That's just pretty clear for the top summoner camp. Absolutely. They'll get a little bit of value out of this, if not necessarily out of structures, but most likely because Jaegers will want to stay down here and clear this. And they may have done that anyways, because they're not 20 yet. If they can get this 20 before this Punisher is actually launched, that might be enough, but I don't know. It's not going to take very long for them to finish this Punisher, or for the Defender, so we'll see. They're coming up. They want to fight it.
You are correct. What Jaegers needed to do was soak up all the way to 20 before this fight. Oh wow, big ring! That is it's Alarak, the only one he didn't want to get, and that is a dead Zeratul!
Alarak managing to take out Zeratul, but we've got Gambit in the bot here, getting 2 on his stun. Emerald Wind pops out to push Plugwalk back, and that is your probably worst case scenario. Now, not only do you not get this Punisher, your Zeratul is dead. You popped every heroic cooldown that you had, and now you have to just go soak, get 20, and hope that you can defend it.
Right, and this, like you said, this is an arcane Punisher pushing down a lane that doesn't have a wall, that doesn't have a tower. It only has the keep. Oh goodness, that I really like, in retrospect, what Plugwalk has done with this Alarak. It has been an amazing counter to the Wombo. That last fight, the Void Prison came out and it only hit Alarak, and he was hit by the Ring of Frost, yeah, but he counter-struck.
Absolutely. So they do have now pressure in 2 lanes, but they've got to defend this top keep, and we'll see how effective they can be. Jaina already at half, getting just chunked down by the lasers. The pull in by Alarak onto the Anubarak, silencing him as he now walks directly over the laser.
Oh,
leap
big kill!
Imperious!
But a dead Sonya!
And now Garrosh is in the cocoon. Anubarak getting very low as the Punisher will leap onto both Jaina and Brightwing, gets 2 stuns. The Void Prison countering the Crushing Jaws, but 2 will get hit by that ring. Counter-Strike doesn't hit anybody, I don't think.
Oh goodness, Blinken hits 2. Comes back in. Dead Stukov. I think you gotta get out.
You have to back out. The Punisher's on the core now. They have to walk back and deal with this. The Punisher heading all 3, and Auntot's getting pummeled by the Punisher!
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
But now Plugwalk, they have to deal with their own core problems. Now, that's 81%, but that went pretty well for Jaegers because they got a bottom keep for that.
They did, and they had pressure mid lane, which gave them about half the damage on that fort. So now they've got this camp in the middle. They have the man advantage on the map. 4 versus 3 now, with Brightwing being the only one out, and Brightwing can teleport in. So once they get into that fight in 20 seconds, Brightwing's able to stop in. The Jaina pull, telekinesis, and Jaina's dead. There's just no end to this. Jaina is toast, right? There you go.
Yeah. Oh, he missed the double cleave though, and didn't get that. The thing is, they were down a man there. They didn't have Imperius, and Plugwalk knew that. He showed top lane. You can't do that.
Not only did they not have Imperius, but Brightwing wasn't back, and Jaina was so far forward, right up next to that fort. Alarak said, "Hey, juicy target, I got this." No, Alarak came in later. It was the Sonya leap.
Big invade here. They have Void Prison, but they don't have the follow-up from the Wombo.
And this is a good call by Plugwalk. They said, you know what, you're
Absolutely.
down here, Jaina. Let's get the maximum value out of this. They get the shaman
don't
camp.
push in. Don't push in. I don't like this. Yes,
Yeah,
back out. Good. Look at the bottom lane. That is so far forward. If you push in right here and you don't finish it right now, you're gonna have 3 katas on the core. I don't like what they're doing right now. They're going in too hard.
Well, they can see that they're on that shaman camp, so they get a little free damage here because the next Punisher is coming in mid lane. That's going to be a Mortar Punisher.
Okay.
And this keep, of course, is at half health because of that Arcane Punisher, because they pulled it close to this mid keep, got all those lasers burning it down. They didn't even barely touch it themselves. and got it to
They
happen.
don't realize. What are they doing?
Look at this, 80% on their own core. Are they hearthing? One person's hearthing. Orphe is the only one going back. It's at 60% almost, 60 now.
Oh my god. 50, 52.
Just
Not like this. Not like this.
wow. And Ginormous Jaegers says thank you very much for that advantage.
Good. And they get, and with the bottom camp, like this is, if I was Plugwalk, instead of getting the keep wall down, I'm going to get the bottom camp so that you relieve the pressure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And now they've got to deal with the pressure in the bot lane. They do have a lot of pressure in the top lane, though. They've got Catapult, they've got the Shaman, so somebody has to go deal with that.
Yeah, I would have imagined they should have already dealt with it way before now, because here's the thing, if Plugwalk just runs at them, if they just run at them and keep them from hearthing, they win.
Yet you now see 3 catapults, and the Shaman camp, at least the Wolves part of it, are on the core, and the shields are gone.
7, 77, 3, 4, we're going down, 55.
And they are going to make it back, it looks like.
42, 37, 28, 24, 20, 19.
Oh my goodness. And look at this. Now they've got the advantage on the Skeletal Defenders, 27 to 13. And this Punisher's going into an open keep. This is going to be a very tough defense.
This is likely to be game. What?
They're going for the core.
Yeah, what they have to do, this is the only play, they have to bum rush their core. And if they don't sniff this out,
they have to know this is a possibility.
Back. Okay, they're trying to make a call here.
You just got seen now, and here they come. They're hearthing back. They know that the Punisher can finish that core by itself. I think this was a misplay. I think they should have just pushed on the core with the Punisher. But
you're right, because Void Prison.
And it looks like they're gonna manage to finish off that core. Crushing Jaw's going out, stuns too, but it's not enough.
Oh my god!
Wow!
You hate to see it happen. They had that one. They had that one.
That was their game to lose, and they said, "Okay." And they give the 2-0 over to Ginormous Jaegers.
You hate to see that happen. Like that was a brilliant call by Jaegers. That was a brilliant call to just bum rush instead of defend. I know so many people who would have been thinking about defending, or they would have shown while running. Oh, that was it. All came down to letting their core get shot. Oh my god.
Absolutely. So talents up there. You can see the kill count in this game, 11 to 11. This was a very close game, back and forth between both teams. They both played fantastically throughout this match with great combos. The Sonya Leap, that let's talk about Area Crater, because holy cow, how much value did they get out of that level 20?
That was where Sonya became like a mini like a mini Leoric by providing that lockdown, that excellent control and securing kill after kill. She almost used Area Crater to keep them from destroying their core, but that Void Prism, the Void Prism on the Hall of Heroes, oh man.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and hop down to Lobby 1, see if we can get Ogle in here. Ogle the Great, my man, welcome to the interview. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Thank you, thank you.
How you feeling right now, my man?
Oh man, I'm pumped. That was good. That last call there was kind of scary.
No doubt. And I hope you go back and rewatch this, because it was close. I think they made the wrong call. I think that they should have stayed on the core, but you guys really managed to make that happen. fantastic call on that. So
Thank you.
what? I just want to start with that moment because obviously it's fresh in your mind. It just happened. What were your comms like? What was going on at that moment? How did you feel about that?
Who made the call?
I suggested the call at like right when the objectives started to spawn. I was like, look, they just took 50% of their core damage to the minions. We just backdoor this when the objective comes. But the problem was we got to the objective and we realized that now we were losing our core to their minions, so we had to back for that. Nearly lost that, and are like, okay, they're gonna get the objective. We just have to backdoor. Like literally, this is the only way we can win at this point. And then at that point, it was just whether or not where Zeratul needed to be to get the Void Prison on them, whether it was at our core to stop them from killing our core, or at their core to stop them from killing us.
Well, you guys
You
played
made the right
fantastically.
call.
Yeah. So you guys played them in the regular season. Obviously, everybody played everybody. And in the regular season, you were 0-2'd by them. And tonight, you guys played an entirely different game. What did you guys do to prepare for this?
I mean, we got a lot more practice in as the 5-man that we ran tonight. The regular season game, we actually had a sub in, and he was having internet problems. But I mean, we did lose to them fair and square the first time, and we just really doubled down on our practice and what, our engages needed to look like and who's, what order the CC comes out and just stuff like that. Because I think we were really sloppy early on in the season with, like someone throws out CC on the DPS and then someone else is throwing it out on a completely different target, and we're just, wasting abilities, doing absolutely nothing. So
Yeah, I wanted to say the coordination with the Void Prison and the Ring of Frost, along with the discipline to not use those abilities except when they were in tandem, that was amazing. I see a lot of people in Division B who don't have that kind of coordination and follow through. That was great work by your.
Not only that, but there
Thank you.
were several Void Prisons, and I don't know if this was on purpose or if it just happened to work out. But there were several Void Prisons that completely negated Orphea's Crushing Jaws. Was that on purpose? Like, did you catch that?
The one where Brightwing got caught out, that was slightly off, and I was actually trying to save the Brightwing and hit them. Like, I missed it by, like, just a very little ways and caught the Brightwing into that, and then both tanks dove into it on our side, which did end up negating the Orphea ult. The second one, though, I don't know why, like, Sonya leapt and Orphea threw out her ult both at me, like, as I dropped the Void, and it was like, come on, it's a Zeratul. I blink in and I blink out. And so I don't know what they were. I mean, they almost pulled it off, and like if you watch the replay, that like the Sonya gets caught mid leap in the Void that's on top of me, like it was like half a second before they just blew me up. But yeah, like it wasn't necessarily on purpose. The one on the Brightwing was, and the other one I think just kind of happened.
I did want to note that to give props where props are due. Plugwalk, their Alarak Diesel, he was able to counteract the combo quite effectively with his counter strike. Like he got a kill, I think, on Jaina as a result of it. Were y'all worried about that all? Did y'all see that happening? What was going through?
I mean, it's an Alarak. Like when you have damage that's automatically going to be in an area at a certain time, or like say poison damage, he's going to get value from it. And so at a certain point, you just have to say it's going to come out. You either got to try to sidestep it, trying to save cooldowns or whatever to make sure to not proc that is just not going to happen, especially in a big team fight like that. Because like I've got poison damage on my Q at level 4, and then Jaina's got like Blizzard that puts damage out like in a sequences, and so that's gonna proc, and you just have to sidestep it. We knew that Alarak has his own cleanse, Garrosh has his own cleanse, but we'd already gone so far into that actual comp that it's just like you're not gonna change it up and try to avoid those two. You just it's like at a certain point we were just like, okay, we kill the Orphea, we kill the Stukov. Sure, there's other guys get away, but we get the 2 kills.
So game 1, let's talk about game 1 just a little bit here. They banned out your Zeratul, which I have to assume is a common ban against you guys. Is that accurate?
I think it's about 80% at this point.
It does not surprise me seeing that second game there. So the ETC, which chat at least was all about saying that ETC was a pretty consistent kind of monster hero for Ferris. And they got it, they picked it early, and then you guys proceeded to pick basically every counter possible for ETC, and those moshes were almost non-existent. Like, you guys had really great combos on those, and that there was an early play where you guys walked in on that control point, that first control point. They popped Dragon, and then your team melted. Like, with that being one of the first encounters with the enemy team, did that cause any adjustments to the rest of the series, or was there any comms about that, or did you just say, oh, you know what, we messed up, whatever, we'll be back later?
We were like, we should have baited out Dragon Queen instead of going for the support camp. Because we got the support camp, but like the idea with that objective, if you come in late into an Alexstrasza, she gets to get value from Dragon Queen. It's kind of like the same deal on shrines. And so if we'd neglected, like said, hey, we go in right now, like say 25%, they pop Dragon Queen, we just walk right back out, okay, and then we go to the support camp. Then Dragon Queen runs down while we're getting the support camp, and then we come back, and then we have the advantage. Whereas the way we did it, we ended up going in and actually them having the advantage, because like the Dragon Queen is just a lot better healing, whatever thing that's called, what the healing pulse thing is. So I mean, we in that thing, I think that we weren't all on the same page. Like, Dark Knight stepped up there and put out his CC, and then like there was no follow-up, and so like, yeah, we pulled back from that fight, and we're like, okay guys, so if we're gonna play like this, we're gonna lose, so let's make sure we're on the same page and we're all looking at Dark Knight and following his stuff up. So we definitely made adjustments from there,
and it worked. There was one other thing I wanted to bring up about game one that I think Monkus has some thoughts on. You took a very heavy teleport build, and it went pristinely for you. With the Aetherwalker at first, and then of course the Diamond Skin and Illusionist and all that stuff. So how do you feel about Aetherwalker?
When they made it so that the Q did 10% more damage, I was like, it's a decent talent if you're on a map where you're going to be, backing all the time. So that, you're not mana trouble, basically, is the idea, or if they don't have any mages. And then when they did it where it removed the mana cost of it, I literally took a screenshot of it and sent it to him. I was like, okay, Aetherwalker's good now. And it's kind of funny because like the whole thing with if you read the patch notes, the developers put in there, they're like, we're going to get you to take this, and like when they removed the mana cost, it's just like question mark now.
Yeah.
and I'm like, yes. So I only have like probably 4 games since that came out on the Li Ming, but like just the mana removal, I like teleport build is like just the standard build now, basically. I mean, you can make an argument for orb and missile build on like BOE, where you need the single target race. But like with the teleport is the build now. In a fight, you're spending a lot of mana on your teleport for finishes and the resets, and not to mention, like, once you get the cooldown reduction when you take a significant amount of your health as damage, also makes it where you're using that about as much as your Q, and it costs more baseline, I think. If I'm
I think
correct.
teleport's 30 and missiles
It's
like
20
25 or something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's already a significant amount of your mana that you're using with it. So just removing that cost altogether when you're already planning to go teleport build is just too good. Because like the only argument you can make is for the spell power on the orb one.
You know what? Now that I think about it, that would give you actual wave clears leaving too because of the damage, right? And then the shorter cool.
It gives you more wave clear on your Q, but the calamity doesn't actually. It only does damage to heroes, so it doesn't give you more wave clear.
Okay, I was mistaken on that. Then I thought I was like, oh wow, that might actually be a lot.
No, if it did, it would be way too good.
Well,
That'd be like Abathur getting a clone and then being able to use their ultimate.
He
banned.
used to. He used to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know somebody who plays Li Ming, and he tried a Aetherwalker build, and he said, I don't like that. And so I was very curious to see how it worked out, and it worked out stupendously. You had that one fight on the bottom objective, or not the bottom objective, but the bottom camp, where you lost your support super early on. And I thought for certain that was a wipe, and the other team was going to get the protector. And you proceeded to basically 1v4 them.
Yeah, it looked really close there, and then Blaze died, and I think ETC died, and it's like, wait, where's this coming from? There's nothing on the map. Oh, it's just suddenly Li Ming.
Yeah, I always tell people, if you're gonna take a fight and you're gonna trade 1v1, the team with Li Ming wins because of the resets. And so, like, people will be like, oh, but we got the 1v1 trade right at the beginning. You know, it's like, oh, we overextended, got this kill, and then we lost somebody. Like, oh, it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal because the Li Ming gets the reset, and it's basically like adding a fourth hero to the fight instantly, you know, or a sixth hero, or, you know, a fifth, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with that dominance where I thought you were
right,
dead.
with the 20% heal, and then also with the shield at 16.
Yeah, so. That diamond skin, yeah. So that's all my questions. Monkus, do you have anything else for Ogle?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about Game 2, because that was just such a game. Like, all of the... It was very back and forth. A lot of like going for camps, a lot of fights, a lot of everything. And I wanted to ask in particular, I saw that you picked up Brightwing both games. Was that in case you were able to get the Zero tool to deny it from the other team?
So we saw that they played the Brightwing and that they're comfortable on it. We like to remove like heroes that are meta that they're also comfortable on, because not only are people like just comfortable on this hero, so say, you know, I'm comfortable on Zeratul, so great, yeah, ban out my Zeratul, you're banning one person. But if the team is comfortable playing with that hero, it's like getting a half ban on the rest of the team at the same time. So if they're comfortable playing with that polymorph, following up on that, you're not just getting a ban on that hero or on that person that plays the Brightwing, you're also getting a ban on that team's play style. So with the Brightwing pick, we are very comfortable with the Brightwing, and we've run it a lot in practice lately. So to all you people that are watching this, that means you need to ban it in the next games. But it was also kind of a denial pick at the same time.
And I noticed Anna didn't come out for either side, and I thought she would have slotted really well into both your team and their team. Do y'all not like Anna? Do you think that there are better healers? I'm just curious about the sudden absence with Anna when she's been so dominant in the meta.
I think Anna's the strongest support in the game, as far as supports go. The thing is just the idea of being comfortable playing with the hero as a team.
Yeah, right.
So,
like you said,
what we've played in practice, because like you also have to consider that, you know, we queue up for Storm League and then Anna's banned. All of a sudden, we don't get to practice that. We do a scrim and they ban the Anna, and so like, where are you getting your practice as a team with this hero if they're always banned in the meta?
Gotcha. I respect that. I follow that. And I was also curious about a new brack was open a whole lot. A new brack was open, and y'all, I believe that Johanna was banned against you. Is Johanna another one of those things that y'all are stronger with?
I think we ran her, probably like a majority of our games. Like, as much as they've banned the Zeratul, we've played the Johanna. So, like, she tends to be the tank that is just like, oh, Johanna's up, grab it, because she's just so simple and very straightforward, easy to follow up, easy to just play around, and like the easier you make it for yourself, the harder it is for the enemy team to beat you.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's about it for me. I think y'all did a great job. Congratulations on finishing what might be the craziest game 2 I have seen in a long time. Arrow just keeps getting the craziest game 2s out of any caster, I think. The 30-minute Volskaya, the camps or the cores being finished off simultaneously, the races. Oh my god.
Oh man, that was way too close. Like our shields were gone and that Punisher was getting ready to go to town.
Yeah, I told him I think that if they stayed, they won that game. But so we're gonna give you the floor for shoutouts in 1 second here. Just wanted to look forward here. So your next encounter is going to be against Rush B at the top of your division, which you guys met them also 2 weeks ago, just right after you played Plugwalk, and it was 2-0 in their favor. But those games looked, at least according to the stats, very close. 13-13 in takedowns, 15-10 in favor of Rush B in takedowns on the Towers of Doom, first one being on Volskaya. What do you want to say to Rush B? What thoughts do you want to throw out there for this match coming up?
I mean, I'm not going to say that we're going to win, but they're going to lose.
Fair enough. Floor is yours for shoutouts, my friend.
Okay. Shout out to my team. Everyone did great tonight. The call for the core at the end there, and everyone just following up on it very well. That worked out great, and yeah, just really looking forward to going forward in these playoffs. And thanks to you guys for casting. Sure, I'll enjoy the replay.
Absolutely. Well, great job on both teams, and looking forward to that next matchup here next week. And have a great night. Enjoy that win and the rest of your weekend.
All right, thank you.
So let's take a quick peek here at the bracket. As soon as I find my page there. There it is. That's not the bracket. Turn the bracket back on. So with that, Ginormous Jaegers will move on. The number 4 team moves on to face Rush B, the number 1 team. And don't miss that matchup. That is going to be a close game. I think probably just as close, if not closer, than the game we just watched. What do you think, Munkus?
I have no idea. I actually think that based on what I've seen tonight, if the Jaegers can play like they played tonight, if they can get that coordination going off, I think that they'll.
You think they'll what?
I think they will take it. I think Jaegers will take it if they play like they played tonight.
I think they have a serious opportunity to do so there. They played really well. They had a good macro game. They were aware of what their opponents were doing. They were mindful of the camp timing and putting pressure where they needed to in order to stay in the game and ultimately win the game. So I agree. I think that this gives them some pretty solid momentum going into that Rush B game next week.
Yeah, and I'd love to co-cast that game as well because it looks to be exciting and promising.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens with the match, timing and everything for next week. I know my schedule is a little bit limited for lining up with all these guys, unfortunately, but C West quarterfinals coming to a close now with that final game between Jaegers and Plugwalk. So thanks to everybody in C West for getting your matches scheduled and a little bit early even in the week. If you're looking for what's coming up here this weekend, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time, we've got Div D, I believe West, Asmo Carry versus Sack of Bricks. So that is the number 2 and number 7 seed going at it, as well as at 11 p.m. UARC Esports versus Ban Cho, the number 4 and number 5 seed out of C East. You do not want to miss that game if you can possibly help it. Also out of Division B. Munkus, tell us what's going on in Division B tomorrow.
Arrogant Nephilim is playing their game tomorrow night. But my team, I won't be there because I'm just a sub, but they will be playing tomorrow, I believe, at 9? I got to double check.
It is at 10:30 Eastern Time, and it is going to be cast by Arcane Arboretum. So make sure you check the calendar at nexusgamingseries.org/calendar for the cast there. But those other two games I mentioned, the UARC Esports versus Bancho and the Asmo Carry versus Sack of Bricks, you can find right here tomorrow at 2 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Munkus, is there anything else you want to say to chat before we head out for the evening?
I'd like to thank chat for being a great chat and for tuning in for some of the craziest games you will see all season. And shout outs to my team, all the guys who came down to watch. And yeah, great cast.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me tonight, Munkus. It's been a pleasure co-casting with you. Everybody out there in chat, make sure you tune in tomorrow for those games. And if you really want some sauce, make sure to keep an eye on the calendar as Regen Red versus Almost Legends will be coming up. And you do not want to miss that game in the Div C East. But that's it for us tonight. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.